I was sitting at my kitchen table last Tuesday morning, looking at a bank statement that made absolutely no sense, when my phone rang. The caller ID showed my neighbor Sophia Reed, and she sounded panicked. "Benjamin, are you home right now?" she asked, her voice tight. "Yeah, I'm here. What's wrong?" "There's a moving truck in your driveway. Big crew. They're carrying boxes out of your house. My name is Benjamin Hayes. I'm 68 years old, retired after 30 years as a military finance officer and another 15 as a civilian CPA. I live in a quiet Phoenix suburb where nothing ever happens. Until that Tuesday, I stood up so fast my coffee mug hit the floor. What? I didn't hire any movers. I'm looking at them right now through my kitchen window. Professional crew with uniforms. Should I call the police? Before I could answer, I heard something that made my blood run cold. From across the street came the sound of laughter. Not the good kind. The kind that tells you someone just got away with something. I looked out my front window and saw my son Mason Hayes standing on the sidewalk with his wife Charlotte. They were watching the moving truck like it was the most natural thing in the world. Mason caught sight of me in the window and waved. Actually waved. That's when I knew this wasn't a robbery. This was something worse. Let me back up a little. Mason is my eldest son, 45 years old. Used to be a corporate finance manager until he got laid off 2 years ago. Since then, he's been struggling. His wife Charlotte works real estate. But they've got 2 teenagers in private school and a lifestyle that costs more than they bring in. I'd been helping them out here and there. Nothing major. A few thousand when their car needed repairs. Some money for the kids' school fees. Charlotte always insisted they'd pay me back, and Mason would get that look on his face, like he was ashamed to need help. I thought I was being a good father. Turns out I was being a mark. The moving truck left before I could get outside. Sophia met me in my driveway with photos on her phone. License plate. Company name, The Works. Good thinking for a former ER nurse. Phoenix Premier Relocations, she said, showing me the pictures. I counted at least 12 boxes. I called the police, but they weren't much help. 2 young officers who looked like they'd rather be anywhere else. They checked my locks, found no forced entry. They asked about my security system. According to your security company, the senior officer said, reading from her tablet, your system was disabled yesterday at 3:15 p.m. using the master code. Front door unlocked this morning at 9:30 a.m., also with the master code, authorized entry. The words hit me like incoming artillery. I'd given that code to Mason last year when I had minor surgery and needed someone to check on the house, father to son, trust passed down like a family heirloom. After the police left, I did what I'd been trained to do for 45 years. I followed the money. My home office had been searched. Nothing obvious, just small things. My chair at the wrong angle, papers in my filing cabinet facing different directions. Someone had taken their time, felt safe enough to be thorough. I opened my property documents folder. Half the papers were gone. The deed, title insurance, all of it. In their place was a single document I'd never seen before. A reverse mortgage application for $800,000, signed with my name, notarized and filed, except I'd never applied for a reverse mortgage. I'd never even considered it. The signature looked like mine, but something felt wrong. The pressure was different. The B in Benjamin had a slight hook I'd never made. Someone had practiced my signature, but not quite enough. I pulled my credit reports. There it was. Reverse mortgage approved 3 months ago from Western Suburban Credit Union. $800,000 disbursed in a single payment. Current on payments, which meant someone was making the minimum monthly amount to keep it looking legitimate. Here's what a reverse mortgage does. It lets seniors over 62 borrow against their home's value without monthly payments. The loan gets paid back when the house is sold or the borrower dies. It's a legitimate financial tool, but in the wrong hands, it's the perfect way to steal someone's life savings. I called the credit union. The loan was tied to my social security number, but the contact information was an email address I didn't recognize. Someone had set up online access using my identity, but their information. The $800,000 had been transferred immediately to an external account. I couldn't see where without a subpoena, but I had a pretty good idea that night. I called Oliver Grant. We'd served together in the Army Finance Corps back in the 80s, stayed in touch over the years. He'd retired from the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit and opened his own investigation firm. "Ben," he said when I finished explaining, This is textbook elder financial abuse, usually done by someone close to the victim. Someone who has access, knows the routine, understands the target's vulnerabilities. I know, I said. I just need help proving it. We'll start with the notary service. Whoever witnessed that signature will have records, then we'll trace the money. In my experience, family members who do this aren't usually smart enough to hide the trail completely. Oliver had seen this pattern dozens of times during his FBI days. Adult children drowning in debt, looking at their elderly parents' assets like a life preserver. The crime was always the same. The justifications varied. Over the next 3 weeks, I kept up appearances. Mason and Charlotte came for our monthly BBQ like nothing had happened. We grilled burgers in my backyard while their kids Nathan and Paige played in the pool. Normal family stuff, except nothing was normal. Every time Mason mentioned money problems, I listened differently. Every time Charlotte talked about house hunting in Sedona, I made mental notes. They were spending money they shouldn't have had, and I was documenting everything. "Dad, you should see this place Charlotte found," Mason said one Sunday, flipping burgers on my grill, right on the golf course in Sedona. Amazing views. Charlotte showed me pictures on her phone, a $400,000 house with Red Rock views and a 3-car garage. "We put an offer in yesterday," she said, her voice casual. "Finally found something perfect for the kids." I nodded and smiled, but inside I was calculating. 2 years ago, Mason had been asking me for $500 to fix his transmission. Now they were buying a second home in one of Arizona's most expensive markets. Meanwhile, Oliver's investigation was moving fast. The notary, Isabella Parker, cracked within hours when his investigator showed up at her office. She admitted that Charlotte had hired her, presented the documents, and signed my name while Isabella pretended not to notice the obvious fraud. Charlotte had paid her $500 cash to look the other way. She was nervous the whole time, Oliver told me over coffee at a VFW meeting. Kept checking her phone, rushing through the paperwork. But the money was good and Isabella needed it. Her business has been slow since COVID. The money trail was even easier to follow. Oliver had contacts in banking who knew how to read between the lines of financial records. The $800,000 had gone to a business account for Hayes Family Holdings LLC, then immediately distributed. $300,000 to pay off Mason's gambling debts at 3 different online casinos, $200,000 into a cryptocurrency account that showed nothing but losing trades, $15,000 for the down payment on the Sedona house titled in Charlotte's name alone. The rest had been pulled out as cash over 3 months. They'd burned through most of my life savings in 90 days. "Your son's got a serious gambling problem," Oliver said, sliding a folder across the table. We found accounts at DraftKings, FanDuel, 3 offshore poker sites. He was betting on everything. Football, basketball, baseball futures, even esports. The casino debts go back 18 months. I looked through the printouts. Bet after bet, loss after loss. Mason had been chasing his losses with bigger and bigger wagers. Classic addiction behavior. Charlotte knew about all of it. Oliver continued. The real estate records show she co-signed on a loan against their primary residence 8 months ago. $50,000 that went straight to covering Mason's debts. When that wasn't enough, they started looking at your assets. The evidence was overwhelming, but Oliver counseled patience. "We want them to think they got away with it," he said. "Let them get comfortable, maybe try to take more. Then we'll have them cold." At the VFW, my army buddies had different opinions about what I should do. Jerry Kowalski, who'd served 2 tours in Vietnam with me, thought I should confront Mason directly. "You raise the boy," he said over beers. "Give him a chance to come clean, make it right." But Pete Rodriguez, who'd worked bank security after his army service, disagreed. "Family or not, this is a federal crime. Elder abuse, wire fraud, forgery. You let this slide, they'll do it to someone else's father." I knew Pete was right. This wasn't just about my money. It was about what kind of man I was going to be when tested. In the army, we had a saying. Character is what you do when nobody's watching. But sometimes character is what you do when everybody's watching. When the choice is between family loyalty and doing what's right. We didn't have to wait long for the next move. 2 weeks later, Mason called and asked if we could have a family meeting. Something important about my estate planning. I knew what was coming. They'd stolen $800,000 and now they wanted the rest. The house itself was worth another $400,000 in equity. To them, I wasn't a father and grandfather. I was an asset to be liquidated. Sure, son, I said. Why don't you and Charlotte come for dinner Sunday? Bring the kids. I'll make my famous chili. I could hear the relief in his voice. That sounds great, Dad. Really great. We've got some ideas that might help make your life easier. After I hung up, I called Oliver. They took the bait. Sunday dinner. Can you have your people ready? Already in motion, he said. We'll have surveillance on the house, recording equipment in place. Just act normal. Let them make their pitch. When they start talking about transferring assets or signing documents, that's when we move. I spent that week preparing like I was planning a military operation. Oliver's team installed micro cameras in my dining room and living room. I practiced acting surprised and grateful for their concern. I rehearsed keeping my voice steady when they asked me to sign away everything I'd worked 45 years to build. The hardest part was thinking about Nathan and Paige, 15 and 13 years old, good kids who had no idea their parents were criminals. They'd be there Sunday night, sitting at my table, when their world fell apart. But every time I wavered, I thought about Oliver's words. Elder abuse is the fastest growing crime in America. Most victims never report it because it's done by family. The criminals count on shame and family loyalty to keep their victims silent. I wouldn't be silent. Not when my son had violated everything I'd taught him about honor and duty. Not when he'd used my love for my grandchildren as a weapon against me. Sunday was coming, and I was ready. Sunday arrived gray and overcast, unusual for Phoenix in October. I spent the morning preparing my famous chili, the recipe my wife Catherine had perfected over 40 years of marriage. I set the table with our good dishes, the ones we'd received as wedding gifts that had survived deployments, moves, and decades of family dinners. Everything normal and comfortable, just the way it needed to be. They arrived at 6 p.m. sharp. Nathan and Paige ran to hug me like always, and for a moment I almost lost my nerve. Nathan had grown taller since summer, nearly matching his father's height at 15. Paige had braces now, and she smiled carefully to hide them. Grandpa Ben, Mom said you might have some news for us, Paige said, settling into her usual chair. Maybe after dinner, sweetheart, I said, ruffling her hair. Let's eat first. Mason looked nervous, fidgeting with his napkin. Charlotte seemed more composed, but I caught her scanning the room like she was checking for something, professional habit from her real estate work, or was she wondering if I suspected anything? We ate and talked about Nathan's football season and Paige's art class. Normal grandfather stuff. I asked about school, friends, weekend plans. The kids chatted about their classes and teachers, completely unaware that their parents were sitting at my table planning to steal my home. This chili is incredible, Dad, Mason said, going for a second helping. I keep telling Charlotte she needs to get the recipe from you. It was your mother's specialty, I said. She'd be happy to know you still enjoy it. Charlotte shot Mason a look. Time to get down to business. Dad, Mason said, his voice carefully measured, we've been thinking about your situation here. This house is a lot of work for you to manage alone. The yard, the pool, all those repairs. I looked at my son, this man I'd raised to understand duty and honor, and felt something break inside my chest that would never fully heal. But my voice stayed steady. Military training. It is getting harder, I admitted. Last month, the pool filter went out. Cost me $400 to fix. See? Charlotte jumped in, and the property taxes. Arizona's been raising assessments every year. This neighborhood, you're probably paying $8,000 a year just in taxes. $9,000 to $200, I said. But it's the house your grandmother and I bought when we moved here from Fort Benning. Lot of memories, of course, Mason said quickly. We understand that, Dad. But Charlotte and I found this amazing assisted living community in Scottsdale. Really nice place. Golf course, activities, medical staff on site. Some of your army buddies from the VFW are probably there. I nodded thoughtfully. Tell me about it. For the next 10 minutes, they painted a picture of retirement paradise. Independence with support. Social activities, no more yard work or home maintenance. All the benefits of home ownership without the headaches. The property taxes on this place must be killing you, Charlotte added. And the insurance, the maintenance costs. Wouldn't it be nice to have that money available for travel, hobbies, enjoying your retirement? They were building toward their pitch. I could see it coming like artillery fire you hear whistling through the air before impact. Actually, I said, Keeping my voice interested, I've been thinking about my assets quite a bit lately. Maybe it's time to make some changes. Mason leaned forward. Charlotte's eyes lit up like a slot machine hitting jackpot. That's wonderful, Dad, Charlotte said. We just want what's best for you. This house has so much equity tied up in it. You could live comfortably for decades on what it's worth. The market's really strong right now too, Mason added. Charlotte's been watching the comps in this neighborhood. Houses are selling fast above asking price. This place could probably get $120 million, maybe more. Nathan looked up from his phone. Are you selling the house, Grandpa? Where would we have Sunday dinners? Don't worry about that, honey, Charlotte said quickly. We'll figure something out, but I could see the confusion in both kids' faces. This was their grandfather's house, the place where they'd spent holidays and birthdays, where they'd learned to swim in the pool and helped me plant vegetables in the garden every spring. The thing is, Dad, Mason continued, these transitions can be complicated. Lots of paperwork, legal stuff. Charlotte's got experience with real estate transactions. We could help you navigate the whole process. Here it came. We were thinking, Charlotte said, it might be easier if you signed a power of attorney. Just temporarily, while we handle the logistics. That way you don't have to worry about all the details. I nodded slowly, like I was considering it. Power of attorney. That makes sense. You'd handle the sale, the assisted living arrangements, all of that? Exactly, Mason said, relief flooding his voice. We'd take care of everything. Make sure you get the best price. Find the perfect place for you to live. You wouldn't have to stress about any of it. That's very thoughtful, I said. Then I reached under my napkin and placed a manila folder on the table between us. The change was immediate. Mason went pale. Charlotte's hand jerked, knocking over her wine glass. Red wine spread across my white tablecloth like blood. Nathan and Paige looked confused. Dad? Nathan said, what's wrong? That folder contains copies of the fraudulent reverse mortgage you took out in my name, I said, using the same calm voice I'd used in military briefings for 30 years. Bank records showing where the $800,000 went. The testimony from Isabella Parker, the notary you bribed to witness Charlotte's forgery of my signature, and emails between Charlotte and the Sedona real estate agent about selling this house next month. Mason was staring at the folder like it might explode. Charlotte looked like she was calculating escape routes. There's also a recording of this conversation, I continued. The FBI is very interested in repeat offenders, especially ones who've been targeting elderly relatives across multiple states. Nathan's face went white. FBI. Grandpa, what's happening? Paige started crying. Mom. Dad, what did you do? Charlotte broke first. Benjamin, please. You don't understand. We were desperate. Mason's been out of work. My real estate business is slow. We were going to lose everything, so you decided to steal mine instead. Mason found his voice shaky and defensive, Dad. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. We were going to pay it back. Once my business ventures paid off, once Charlotte's commissions picked up. With what money, Mason? You lost $200,000 in cryptocurrency in 6 weeks. You had $300,000 in gambling debts before you ever touched my accounts. The kids were looking back and forth between us like they were watching a tennis match, except the ball was their family falling apart. Grandpa, Nathan said, his voice breaking. Are Mom and Dad going to jail? Before I could answer, the doorbell rang. Oliver Grant appeared in my doorway with 2 FBI agents in dark suits. The recording equipment had caught everything we needed. Mason Hayes, Charlotte Hayes. You're under arrest for wire fraud, elder abuse, and conspiracy to commit theft, the lead agent announced. You have the right to remain silent. The next hour was chaos. Nathan and Paige crying, confused about why police officers were putting handcuffs on their parents. Oliver arriving with more federal agents. Miranda rights being read in my living room while I held my grandchildren and tried to explain the unexplainable. Your parents made some very bad decisions. I told them as Charlotte was let out in handcuffs. They took money that didn't belong to them, and now they have to face the consequences. But they're our parents. Paige sobbed into my shoulder. They can't go to prison. Mason stopped at the doorway, flanked by FBI agents, and looked back at me. Dad, I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I'm sorry. I looked at my son in handcuffs and felt 45 years of memories crash down on me. Teaching him to ride a bike, watching him graduate from college, walking him down the aisle at his wedding. All of it poisoned now by what he'd chosen to become. I'm sorry too, Mason, I said. Sorry, I failed to teach you the difference between right and wrong. The federal charges were extensive: wire fraud, elder abuse, forgery, money laundering, conspiracy. The prosecutor, a sharp woman named Angela Martinez, laid out the case like a military operation. "Your son had been planning this for months," she told me during a pre-trial meeting. The gambling debts were piling up. His wife was pressuring him about their lifestyle. They researched reverse mortgages, found a notary willing to look the other way, and executed the fraud while you were recovering from surgery. Mason took a plea deal and got 5 years federal prison plus full restitution. Charlotte got 3 years and lost her real estate license permanently. They'd have to sell the Sedona house, liquidate their retirement accounts, even surrender Charlotte's jewelry to help pay back what they'd stolen. The kids went to live with Charlotte's sister in Tucson temporarily while the family figured out long-term custody. Social services got involved, lawyers got involved, everyone had an opinion about what was best for Nathan and Paige. "I want them with me," I told the family court judge. "They're my grandchildren. They shouldn't suffer because their parents are criminals." But Charlotte's sister, Maria, fought me on it. "Benjamin's 68 years old," she argued. "How's he going to handle 2 teenagers alone? They need stability, routine, someone closer to their age." The judge split the difference. The kids would live with Maria during the week, but spend weekends and holidays with me. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was better than losing them completely. Nathan adjusted better than Paige. At 15, he understood that his parents had made choices and would face consequences. He was angry, confused, but he didn't blame me for turning them in. "You did what you had to do, Grandpa," he said one Saturday morning while we worked on his truck in my garage. "Dad was wrong. I get that. Paige took longer to forgive me." For months, our weekend visits were strained. She'd answer my questions with one-word responses, spend hours on her phone, ask when she could go back to Tucson. "You sent my mom to prison," she finally exploded one Sunday afternoon. "She's my mom and you put her in prison." "Your mom sent herself to prison," I said gently. I didn't force her to steal from me. I didn't force her to forge documents or bribe a notary. She made those choices. "But she's family," Paige said, tears streaming down her face. "And so am I replied. "Family doesn't mean you let people hurt you without consequences." It took time, patience, and a lot of Sunday dinners, but eventually Paige came around. She started asking about her grandmother, Catherine, about what it was like when I was in the army, about the stories behind the photos in my house. I recovered about $300,000 through asset seizure when they sold the Sedona house and liquidated their accounts. The rest was gone, but I still had my home and my pension. More importantly, I had my self-respect and my grandchildren. Some people asked if I regretted turning in my own son. They said family should stick together, that blood is thicker than water. Here's what I learned in 30 years of military service. Honor isn't just a word you put on recruiting posters. It's a choice you make every single day. Mason chose dishonor. He chose to see his father as a target instead of family. I chose to be the man my uniform had trained me to be, even when it cost me everything I thought I knew about my own son. The VFW guys understood. Jerry Kowalski brought me a bottle of bourbon the day Mason was sentenced. "You did right, Ben," he said. "Army teaches you duty first, even when it hurts." Pete Rodriguez helped me install a new security system and change all my locks. "Trust but verify," he said. Reagan was talking about the Russians, but it applies to family too. Would you have made the same choice? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're worried about financial exploitation by family members, trust your instincts, love your children, but verify their actions. Professional skills don't become useless when you retire. Sometimes they're the only thing standing between you and people who see your nest egg as their inheritance. The hardest lesson of my life: you can raise a child with honor, but you can't force them to live by it.